presentation the source
it is basically what are the processes by which we will integrate the doctors, the clinical workers who are working in urban sectors, in urban areas, and how to give their care, how to give their services at the rural sector, how to bring their services and care to the rural sector, and how we make sure that the ratio goes up. I mean, the difference, they comes down. So that's where we started innovation. So the entire innovation, the entire new product designing, the service line designing started to come from there. The second point is that the proactively seeking for new methods and technologies. What we have seen in our field of work, and definitely where you will be going, most of you guys will be going in some established organizations. Most of you guys are working in established organizations. They have a set process, they have a set rules, and most of these processes, they are not experienced in those processes. It is like an industrial practice. That's the industry practice. They say that, okay, this comes under best practices, let us follow that one. So we blindly starts following those processes. We don't actually try to disrupt our routine, and we just don't try to innovate the process. We are absolutely blind. We follow whatever we are being given. We are given a routine and we blindly follow that routine. So at this point of time, so the strategy is that, so what we actively think is that you have to proactively think of new methods. Although you have a set right methods in your hand, but still you need to proactively think about new technologies, new methods to come up with innovation. And definitely the last part, the third leg, is basically accepting new ideas. I mean, we worked in a lot of big organizations. We know that how new ideas are coming out and how new ideas are being driven and being accepted. I'll tell you, there is a big difference between how Google works and how TCS works. New ideas in TCS, well, I have friends who are there in TCS in several hierarchies. I have my seniors over there. New ideas, it's not a place of venturing out for new ideas in that organization. They are the service sector driven organization. The client is coming with the same set of problem. They have a ready-made solution. They have a ready-made GTM strategy over there. They are just going over there, implementing it, and that's it. Anybody coming out with a new strategy, they're susceptible to it. But at the go back to Google, how Google is working today, how Apple is working today, and rather to say how Amazon is working today in India and at a global level, is that they are implementing a lot of time, a lot of resources into new idea generation and disruption. So innovation is a very, very huge factor for them. And they're investing a lot of money over there. They're investing time over there. I'll tell you the difference between the immersion program of these two organizations. A person who is joining in TCS at our level, at a junior management level, they go through a 3-month training, just training about their processes. They have around a book of 500 pages of immersion program with all the said norms and regulations. At the same time, a person who is joining in Google, they just undergo a project which they have to innovate. They have to create their own team. They have to undergo through an entire project of their own for 1 year before they are being immersed to a new project which has been planned by their managers. So that's the difference. And during that 1 year's time, they are being evaluated. They are being evaluated by their decisions they take. They are being evaluated by the team that they build, and they are being evaluated by the innovation that they drive during that period. That's the kind of people driving. But if we say that is TCS wrong, definitely they are not wrong. Google is wrong? No, they are not wrong. They are two different organizations. They have two different aspects altogether. We'll go ahead with this. So the first thing that comes up is the adaptability. So adaptability, it requires a different thinking skills. And the first thing, and the thing always I say, that problem finding is the key. So there is a very prominent verse of Einstein. Somebody asked him that if 60 minutes is given to you and the world is going to end, how you will save it? So Einstein told that I'll give 55 minutes of my time to identify the problem and to define the problem. If we can identify the problem and we can define the problem, then it will take 5 minutes of our time in an hour just to implement it and just to drive through it. So problem finding and problem defining is the key element that we need to have. And across the leadership skills, that is very, very important. We tend to always give our judgments at the very beginning. We need to stop doing that. We need to slow down. And we have to find the problem. We have to define the problem first. Give a lot of time over there. And that's how you can understand that where you are going through the solution. So the first goal, that is that innovation that we are talking about right now, it does not start on the ground. It does not start at a 30,000 feet height. It always starts at the ground. You have to understand the ground level. You have to understand that what is there, what are the elements you have with you, what are the environment is like. Once you understand that, how it is, then you have to go for 5 or 6 elements. You have to go for knowledge, creativity, process, skills, tools, and styles. I'll go through each of these in our webinar one by one, and I'll just try to explain to you that how our personality changes and where our personality fits and how we think, how our cognitive thinking actually works, and how we need to change and how we need to align ourselves. And there are 8 steps basically that we talk about in the Simplexity thinking process. So this entire process that we drive for the goal recognition and also for innovation driving and personality treatment, that is the Simplexity thinking model. And there is a clear-cut steps that are there in the organization. Definitely when the students, they will be going to the organization, there are a lot of organizations, they actively at a leadership stage, they actively go through this. But I thought that it's better if the students, they get some idea upfront, they get to understand. See, there are 2 most important things. One is that you have to respect the others and you have to respect yourself. When we go out in an organization, we sometimes feel that, okay, this person is doing something and they are doing something, it might not be useful. Why they are doing this? At the same point of time, we feel sometimes ourselves that what we are doing, it is not important, why we are doing that. So these kind of questions we have in our mind. And often there are a lot of ethical dilemmas where we are always venturing. I mean, it's very good, like in the first month, second month, we just work in new organization, but maybe when this time starts growing, we feel that there is a lot of pressure, there is a lot of monotonousness in our work, and we start questioning others and we start questioning ourselves. So there we have to find that what are the right balance, why we are not doing that. And at the same point of time, we have to understand that what are the right elements of team building, how you will choose your people, how you will choose your team, and how you are going to connect to the people. Who are the right elements? Most of you guys, you will be joining in a project. Most of you guys, maybe at this point of time, you will not have the liberty to choose your own team members, but maybe going down the line 1 year, 2 years from now, when you will be going as a team leader, you will be given an opportunity to choose your own team. So there, I believe that this is the right, I mean, this process is the right way, which will give you an idea that how you will choose your team. That is very important. You just don't choose your team because you just drink tea, you just have sutta break with them, you just enjoy discussing with them, you just go out for movies with them. No, you just make team because they are productive, they're innovative, and they will take you forward. That's why. So here is basically the innovation process that we will go through. It is a 4-stage process that we are talking about. Well, I will be logging out in another 2 minutes automatically. Then I'll be relogging over here. I believe that we are into a trial version of the Zoom meeting. So if you also guys just log out, you can just relog in into the same link.
Yes. We'll relog in with in this ID also.
Yeah, sure. So now let us first discuss with the 4 stages that we are talking about right now. The first stage that we have to understand, that is the right-hand side topmost quadrant, is the generating. It's a generator quadrant. It's where we get started. It's where the ideation starts. It's where the new problems and opportunities are being understood. Here we just try to understand that what is the problem. We just try to identify that. We list down several problems, it doesn't matter. When we were given with a task that how to make the process efficient in a state like Uttar Pradesh, where there is a huge, massive shortage of doctors, we had listed down, I mean, most of guys you will not believe, but we had listed down 1,850 problems. We identified them. They may not be an effective problem, but yes, we identified those problems. 1,850 problems we identified. They are directly not linked with the shortage of doctors, but there are a lot of issues. The second quadrant that we will be talking about is the conceptualization. Here we define the problem. Each of the problems that we identify, we try to define them. We try to understand what this problem really is. And we start putting our ideas together in this quadrant. We try to understand that, okay, this is the problem. What are the sources of the problem? What this problem is leading us to? What are the factors that are being involved in the problem? The third quadrant is the optimizing. So once we define our problem, we conceptualize them, we start coming out with some solutions. And once the solutions